So there are two types of people who are going to pick up Helldivers. Possibly Xbox players when it comes out on the 26th, or maybe you've had the hype around it, you've had a friend convince you to get it, and now you've got it. This tutorial is going to be for people who have no knowledge of the game whatsoever, but if you have played it before on their account, this is still worth noting. So step one, obviously you're going to want to do the tutorial. I don't want to waste your time by walking you through it, so instead what we're going to do is start from here. So the first thing that I recommend that you do is set the game to private when you're very first starting. Unless you've got a friend who's going to be able to tell you exactly what to do in a slow way, it's going to be hard to pick up what you need to do with this game. So the way we do that, we go to options, and then you got gameplay and matchmaking privacy. What this means is that you're going to be able to learn the game at your own pace before jumping in with other players. Because what will happen is if you jump into a game and there's a very experienced person, they're going to be doing the objectives very quickly, and you're not really going to get an understanding of how you actually complete the objectives, which is arguably the most important thing in my opinion. Otherwise you just won't be able to enjoy the game the way that you can. So we've set the game to private, and now we're going to go. There are many different parts of the ship, but because I want you to learn slowly instead of just telling you everything straight away, what we're going to do is just go through it in the absolute basics. So ignore all of this so far, and we'll just go over straight to the Galactic Map. So this can be quite overwhelming at first, but I'm just going to try and guide you through some basics so that we obviously know what we need to do. So ignore what's on the right, the major order. It's not important for now. Ignore the different colours on the map. All you need to know is that you're this little white ring moving around. And we're going to start with the Terminates, which is the yellow colour, and they're the bugs. So they're the more melee orientated faction. So we're going to click in. So what you'll notice is there's different sectors. So each one of these sectors has got different planets with different biomes. So I'm just going to randomly click in. If I see one that I like, I'll hop into it. So this is now the planet view where you're going to see. So each one of these here is little missions. When you start doing higher difficulties, these are going to become compilations of missions as opposed to just being one on their own. The other thing that I think will be cool to note here is that you've got a little moon or a little sun next to the cursor that shows you whether the mission is going to be in day or night. I'd recommend starting in day just because it's easier to see and it's a bit more welcoming to new players in my opinion. You'll see at the bottom that we've got a 1-trivial. That just means the mission is at the lowest difficulty that it can possibly be. There's two others, for example. You only be able to play number 1 initially because you have to complete operations in each different one before you do it. So yeah, we're just going to start on number 1. We're going to click this one. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the mission type is, because what we're going to do, or the process, is that you learn all of the different possible mission types before we start looking into the real complexities of the game. So we can activate the mission. Okay. So now what you do is you go and enter one of the hellpods. There we go. It's just a little bit delayed. So normally there is music here, but because there's going to be music in the video, I've obviously decided to omit it, so you should be able to hear that. I don't know why I said that, because you'll be able to hear it anyway. But anyway, so whenever you start a mission and you enter the hellpod, you're going to get an option like this. So you'll see the outer bounds of the map, but essentially this is the entire playable area for this mission, and you're the little cursor T1. Whatever your player name starts with, the letter that it starts with, will be the first letter in the sort of designation that you have, and 1 will symbolize whether you're the first player, so the party leader, all the way up to 4. So yeah, just worth noting there. What will happen here is you choose where to drop. So nothing's that essential in terms of being high up or anything on these missions. There's no sort of vertical advantage that you need to worry about. Just drop anywhere that you like. One thing I should say is that you can drop right on the objective as well. It doesn't stop you from doing that. But it tends to be that enemies will spawn around objectives. So what we're going to do is we're going to just choose to drop here. And then we're in the stratagem management section. So you'll only start with, obviously you'll see all mine here, but you'll only start with the orbital precision strike and the machine gun to start off with. So I'm just going to start with those just so I can give you an understanding of how I would begin. I've given myself the basic setup, however I have got the fully upgraded Liberator just so you can see how you'll be able to upgrade weapons later. I'm going to go through it later, but just so you know why it doesn't look exactly like the same one. But your basic setup will be an assault rifle called the Liberator, then you think you have the Peacemaker, yeah, Peacemaker pistol, and a regular frag grenade. Honestly, not even that bad of a build. It's going to allow you to do everything that you need to do against bugs up to a certain point, and it's just a reliable build. So that's why I'm just going, right, let's focus on this, what we get initially. I'm not going to choose a booster just because we won't have any of those yet, and we're going to ready up. Apparently I need to pick 2 extra. So, yeah, I'll just, it doesn't matter, I won't use them, I'll just pick them anyway. So we'll head down. So, this was meant to be a day planet, but it's actually very dark. But yeah, essentially, when you first drop, obviously you won't have a clue where you are, obviously you've looked at the map. The first and most important thing to do is bring up the map. So I'm going to get what the hotkey is here, or the hotkey should be on the bottom of the screen actually. But yeah, for whatever platform you're on, it's essential. You can zoom in and out of the map, and like I was saying before, this is the entire thing you were seeing before. So we've spawned in the north section of the map, and the objectives are always marked in orange. Objectives are always orange, so they stand out from side objectives, which are blue, which you'll come on to later. But yeah, you also see at the top of your screen you've got a compass. You can see question marks, and I'll go through this one right now since we've landed on it, but I'll be going through POIs a bit later just because obviously it is quite overwhelming. But yeah, focus on this. What you're gonna do is you can put custom markers down. So if you right click or whatever the equivalent is on your platform, you'll be able to move around this cursor on the map. If you left click, it'll allow you to put a marker at the very top. So you'll see that now there's an orange marker at the top of the screen. So that helps you to know where you want to move to. We just want to start the fuel pumps objective, so that's where we're going to put it. Now to stop that beeping, I'm going to go and open this this container. But this is something called a POI, or point of interest. These are going to be places on the map where you can find different support weapons, like the arc thrower. It can get requisition points, which we'll go through later, medals, super credits, and a bit more. But ignore all that for now. You're still very new to the game. We just want to obviously get the basics done. So, barring any major order stratagem, what we'll do is I'll explain what it is. So, you should have done the tutorial. So the tutorial will take you through stratagems, weapons, changing weapons, closing bug holes, friendly fire, all these different things. If any of those concepts are unfamiliar, I would recommend you go back and do the tutorial again. But judging that you know everything what you're doing with stratagems, let's start from here. So whichever button it is on your platform, you'll be able to bring up the stratagem menu. So there are 3 things that you've got that are basic that everyone has, and that's reinforce, SOS, resupply. SOS is only if you're the primary player, player 1, so you'll be able to call in help. But yeah, so I'll go through resupplying a bit later, but obviously because we've got the machine gun, we can call that one down now. So that's what all of these are coordinates for where you need to type WASD, or if you're obviously on PlayStation, it'll be the touchpad. Not sure what it'll be for Xbox, probably the arrows, but yeah. So what we're going to do is going to call down this support weapon. The reason why you want support weapons in Helldivers is usually they're a more powerful version of your primary weapon and secondary that will allow you to take down heavier bugs, heavier bots, or bigger Illuminate, for example. So we've got that called in, and as you can see here, we've got an orbital precision strike. So if you can practice with these now, just so you get an understanding of how far you can throw stratagems and things like this, how much damage they do. They have a cooldown, so you'll be able to use them. There's one stratagem that only has 3 uses. Well, I'll go through that later, or possibly in another video. But yeah, the stratagem actually is this little ball that you're holding in your hand. So wherever that ball goes is where the stratagem of choice is going to land. So it's worth noting. If you want it to land right in front of you, you'll need to throw it there. if you want it to land far away, you need to throw it further away. So let's say, for example, we want to throw it here. So it's got an inbound call, it's going to come from your Super Destroyer, and it's going to hit the top of that rock, which isn't great. But yeah, that is what's going to happen essentially. So we've gone through stratagems, not resupply yet, but we'll go through later. We've gone through the map on how you coordinate. But yeah, I've got a list to the side that I'm looking at how we need to do. But yeah, this is another big thing as well, changing key bindings. So for me, I've customized my key bindings a little bit. If they're not all blank. It's controller, that's why. So obviously mouse and keyboard. So for some of mine, if I look, so prone and crouch are different for me. Control is obviously how I'm going to bring up the stratagem menu, so I've changed crouch to C and prone to V. Other ones that are really useful as well is dive. I think dive might be F to begin with. But if I look at some, so for example, me on nearly every game that I play, grenade is always the 4th mouse button, or the mouse button on the bottom. And then I think I've changed, so yeah, melee is actually my 5th mouse button, because you're not going to be using that one a lot at all, to be honest. That's why I put it there. You can, so you can't default change your weapon with the scroll wheel, so that's definitely one that you want to change if you like the aspect of that, rather than pressing 1, 2, 3, for example. That's what I've got. Quick throwable, obviously I've got that on the 4th button. But yeah, have I got any other different ones? Switching the aim mode, so when you ADS, you'll be able to switch between 1st person and 3rd person view. I've got that set to the 5th button. And yeah, weapon wheel up, weapon wheel down, you can edit there. Yeah, so, and just to give you an idea of it, this is the 3rd person view, that's the 1st person view. So wanted to go through key bindings, we've gone through that, and let's go through going toward the objective. So obviously we can see the objective on the top. You can see that it's becoming like we've got the orange picture at the top of the compass, like this. So now we're just going to start heading in that direction. Obviously sprinting to take a bit less time, and there we go. So you've obviously learned how to destroy bug holes from the tutorial, but yeah, just if we come across one, I'll be able to show you how. If not, obviously you want to aim into the bug hole and throw a grenade. I'll wait to see if we can see a hole anywhere. But if not, then yeah, we can. I mean, that's something you can pick up if I can't find one. It's relatively simple. But that's like a key part of the game to stop enemy reinforcements from coming and to destroy nests. So yeah. Okay, so we're almost to the objective, and there's plenty of different objective types. We might have them up on the screen now, just so you get to see all the different ones that you can do. But my recommendation is that you just keep playing the game with your basic loadout. The reason why is because most of the game will be doable with the basic weapons. It's only when you get sort of the higher difficulties, when heavy armor enemies come, when you know, your sort of light armor penetration weapons aren't going to be enough. But yeah, obviously I'll be able to go over armor pen a bit later. I just didn't want to overwhelm you. But yeah, so a lot of the game will be activating terminals. Just get rid of my... So yeah, and a lot of obviously putting in directions. So up, right, down, down, left, right, up. This is probably like one of the most complex ones in the sense that you have to redirect fuel. The way I always start these is go to the very end and see where the new target is, because there's 5 options and 2 of them will usually be locked. You've got the local storage, which is the way it starts, and then you've got the new target at the very top. Start at the end and work your way backwards, and that way you'll have a better understanding of where the other 2 need to go. Because that is there's only one configuration that shows you that connects to the new target, that knows that eventually we'll need to be able to figure out how to work backwards. So we know that. There you go, exactly. So find which one connects to that, and then it comes quite easily to do. If you've got questions in the comments, just let me know if you're struggling with that one. What the what the thing is telling us here is that we need to turn 3 valves in order to get the fuel running again. It's got written on them which ones they are, so that's 1B, and then we've got 1A and 2A right here. We're going to go and turn those. And then we'll be away. So yeah, very weak enemies at the moment, not really much difficulty. Again, it's about learning the objectives, because the objectives tend to stay the same the higher that you go, or, you know, have different components but similar basic functions. It's just about the enemy types that you'll face or the length of the missions. And there you go. So you've completed your first mission. So now what we need to do is go and extract. So we look at the map again, you can zoom out the whole way, and then we can put a marker on the extract. So let's start heading that way. It's quite easy to see where the extract is because there'll be a huge blue light in the sky, even if you don't have a marker on the map. But as long as you've got the time, it's always good to put one in. Allies can also see what you're pointing towards, so if someone marks extraction, usually it means that obviously the main player or whoever is looking to go and extract. It's always good form to ask everybody in the party if they want it called in. There's some advanced skills like making the pelican hover in the air to clear the area, but for now just focus on calling it in. So the same process again, we're going to type in a code and then we're going to wait. Usually you've got about 2 to 3 minutes that you'll need to survive on extraction before the pelican arrives. So yeah, basically essentially that's what we're going to be doing there. On low difficulties you might not even get anyone attacking, and it might just be a case of waiting. Sometime around extraction there will be ammo crates dotted about, and you'll see on the bottom left of the screen, so you've got a little grenade symbol, which we have 3 out of 5. We've got 5 out of 8 magazines for the pistol, and we've got 2 stims. So unless you've got a certain booster, you won't spawn with full ammo for each or full stims. So yeah, it's just one of those that's worth noting. The other thing which I think surprises a lot of people is that if you reload before fully emptying a mag, you get rid of the final few bullets. So if you're like me on like Rainbow Six Siege or any other game, as soon as you fire 1 bullet you want to reload, you might want to try and get rid of that that tendency, like if I show you here. So I'll just take care of these. Yeah, so if I was to reload now, I'm going to throw away the other half of that magazine. So it's not always best form to reload unless you know you're about to pick up ammo and go to full. But yeah, these are ammo boxes and they'll be able to refill primary, secondary and support weapons. Support weapons obviously not very much. Let's get a grenade throw over here. There we go, 4 kills, nice. But that is a bug breach. So these yellow pheromones and things, that's a bug breach. That is almost like you can consider it as a bug hole that can't close, or you can't close it. It's just on a timer, and the timer's random. But the problem is, the higher difficulty that you go, the more dangerous bugs are going to be coming out of there. So just worth noting that. So you see, we've mainly been facing the little ones. Now we've got warriors. These are bug warriors coming out. There comes the pelican now, so we're almost ready to go. This here is called a sample, but I don't want to go through those yet because it can get quite complicated. So yeah, right now we're just going to extract. Oh, because we can't run under there. There we go. So now we just escape, that's it. So there you go. So you've managed to activate the fuel pumps or whatever objective that you've done, and you're going back to the ship. That's the core gameplay loop of Helldivers. The maps get bigger, the enemies get stronger, the weapons get cooler, all those things happen. It's just that is the fundamental. You've landed into a map, you complete a series of objectives, you extract, and then that's your thing. That's kind of a bit too simplified, but essentially that's what it is. But as I said before, my recommendation is just to keep on increasing the difficulty as you complete operations. Get used to different objective types, like you might have, trying to think now what it would be. One could be, for example, destroying an illegal broadcast, which is very easy to do later on in the game. But early on, you might have to just disable it, you know, or something like this. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll load us into another one. We can see which of this video is valuable. If it's not, we can obviously cut it out. If, you know, we think it's good, we'll leave it in. So yeah, we're back on the ship. You would gain experience, but obviously, yeah, you can't because I'm highest level. But yeah, you'll also gain medals for what you do as well. Once again, I'm going to go through Warbonds a little bit later because it can be quite overbearing. We're going to go straight back in. And I'll try and find a different mission type just so you get to experience something a bit different. So this is no, there we go. Terminate illegal broadcast. So let's head down into that one. So this time I'll land basically on the objective, so you'll see how quickly you can complete some of these. As I say, harder the mission gets, usually it'll be the case that, you know, there's enemies around there. But as long as it's only a low level, you should be fine. Start with the basic machine gun again, and I'll just pick 2 random ones, and no booster, obviously. I'll go in. I will put it to difficulty 2 after this as well. Yeah, just because otherwise you're not going to get to see, you know, harder enemies. Okay, so what I'm hoping is by this point you've probably played a few different missions, so you're getting used to the regular gameplay loop, and maybe you want to learn more about the game. So obviously I started going through resupply boxes. Resupply, sorry, of course. So the other stratagem I mentioned before is called resupply. So this is one of your most important stratagems. They take a long time to come down, but see the way they're on the bottom left of the map, we haven't got full stims, we haven't got full magazines, and we haven't got full grenades. So these you can call down every 2.5 minutes approximately. So if I just call down the machine gun, there we go. So what will happen is you'll call down, this is one of the only sources of like basically getting more ammunition, grenades and stims. You'll see now they all go to full. So what that means is that we can, so I realize I haven't even shown you stimming yet, but if you take damage, it was in the tutorial, but if you take damage, for me it's G, so I press G, I'll stim. What that does is completely restores your stamina and makes it so it can't deplete for a few seconds, restores all your health. Yeah, there are other benefits later on, but they're the only 2 for now. But yeah, so I've got a ship upgrade that allows support weapons to spawn with the highest amount of magazines. We're going to go through ship upgrades later, but for now, know that you won't get your full magazines and you'll need a resupply to get those going. So let's head over. Yeah, obviously F to dive. Worth noting that, so there's something called, obviously, as you'll know, there'll be something called recoil in the game. If you're standing up and moving, recoil is awful. If you're standing still, it's a bit better. Crouched, it's even better. Lying down, it's almost minuscule. So that's really good. We'll just take care of this bug breach. It's a good idea to throw grenades on bug breaches and things like that, because obviously what you've got is one designated location a lot of enemies are going to be coming from, so it's useful to obviously take advantage of that while you can. There you go, so it's just finished. Now I'm going to reload now. So what you'll notice with some weapons, you have to remain stationary in order to reload them. Some weapons you don't have to, but that's worth noting if you're surrounded. One thing I did want to go over here is sort of weapon distancing, different like laser, torch, and sort of fire mode. So if you hold the reload button, whichever it is, you'll be able to set your distance if you've got a scope. So for me, I've got a 4x scope on this. So when we zoom in, it won't affect third person, but it'll affect first person. So obviously, we'll be able to see a lot further away. If we switch that to 25, we'll obviously have a much smaller distance. I always tend to keep it at the highest, because if I'm in a close quarters situation, I'll go to third person, because it's always the same. I never see if it's far away. You can switch to that. Now, you also have what fire mode that you want. If you are quite accurate, you can leave it at full, control recoil, and aim like this. If you're not very accurate, you could switch to semi or burst, for example, or you're down to a low number of magazines. That's one option there. Where are they? Here they are. There you go. So in my Terminating video, I did go over bug breaches and how it works. Feel free to check that one out later if you want. If not, that's absolutely fine as well. There we go. So, but yeah, the last thing to go over then is torches. So if you're on a... There's 3 options for them. I'll go through first. Auto, which means that when you ADS, if it's dark, you'll automatically go on. If it's not, it's on. It's not on by default. On by default, as in all the time. This can actually like make it quite difficult to see what's in the torch if sometimes. So it's worth managing that. Bugs and bots can't see torches if I'm not mistaken as well. So feel free to leave it on if you want, and then off. I normally leave it to off just because I want to be able to decide when I see it. See if we need to go anything. Yeah. So this is so you can either destroy this with explosive. Let's see if I can destroy it by cooking a grenade. Now I don't know how long it takes for grenades to go off. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Right, 3. So you can cook 1, 2, 3. Oh. A little bit off the mark there. Right, let's see if I can... I don't know if you can actually destroy this with grenades, so it's going to be interesting. 1, 2... Okay, I don't think so. So yeah, what we're going to do is if you don't have explosives, or you do have the orbital precision strike actually, that will probably be able to destroy it. Shit. I want to show you, like, let's say you don't have any of that, how you take it down. So you can interact with this, which I don't think I've ever done actually before, but I knew you could do it. So literally input a small code and then it should be off. Well, that's waiting a long time for that. Let's see if I can call anything else down on it. No, I won't call down the hell bomb, portable hell bomb yet. But an orbital strike would have been able to destroy that, which is a hell of a lot quicker than this, as you can see. Whoa! Why even do this? Ah, right. Oh, right. So I'll tell you why they're doing this. They're introducing you to frequency alignment, which is a common objective in a lot of other ones. So with this one, you only have one, so you have to press up or down. With other frequency alignments, you get 50% from up and down and 50% from left and right. With this one, you just need... Oh, hang on a sec. Oh! I'm an idiot. You can't... So it is both. So yeah, that is going to be a really common objective with all of them. You just need to get it to 100 and then it will complete. That's the same for like SEAF artillery, which is a side objective I'll explain later on. But yeah, so essentially that's how that goes. We'll wait 8 seconds and I'll show you the orbital strike taking this down. Other things like Eagle rocket pod will do that as well. Where are we at now? So orbital precision strike. Oh my god. If it doesn't miss, which unfortunately it just did, now you can sort of start to see why the orbital precision strike is not took on later objectives. I haven't taken it in a long time. But anyway, let's start to get back to extraction. And we can resupply while we go, because obviously we've lost a few magazines. Always a good idea, because you can dot resupplies around the map if you know you're going to be coming back to them. If you're not going to be coming back to them, just max up. Even if, so for example, I've got 3 out of 5 grenades. Obviously, if you're playing with other players, make sure they get theirs as well. It's very important to share. But since we're not, we're going to make sure we're fully maxed out before we head there. Always be as prepared as you can be. Worth noting with the machine gun, you get 3 different firing modes. So you get some slow if you're running out of ammo, very slow, medium, or you can get, oh, that seemed like it was wrong there. There you go, and then the fastest, which is my favorite. When you're dealing with groups, a lot easier to deal with that there. But you do run out of ammo quicker. There are other side things which will help you with that. But for now, let's focus on the basics. We're going to call this in. There you go. Cool. Now, let me see if there's any... So I've gone through supply boxes, but we also want to go through Stim cases. Stim are like large blue and yellow cases. We probably have it on a PNG of it on the map, to be fit on the screen, of what they look like. You also get grenade boxes as well. It looks like they're not spawning in. But yeah, so we'll have a PNG of it up there anyway. Types. Right, okay. So, at this point, you might be level 3. If you are, I'm going to show you what stratagem to buy in the store. Should be quite cheap, and basically that will be the beginning of what we need to take on the bots. Because what you'll find of the bots versus the bugs, bots have a lot higher armor type. So, I'll go through that now. Armor is between 1 and 10. I'm not as au fait with that, about 1 to 10. But what I am quite au fait on is like light, medium, and heavy. So certain weapons will be able to penetrate certain armor types. So the Liberator, basic one, is light armor. The machine gun that we've got here is medium armor. But by default, we're not going to have any heavy armor penetration weapons. So what we need to do now is get a stratagem that is going to allow us to do that. Yeah, so that's why I'll be recommending this one. If we look at, yeah. So also what you'll find is that when you'll notice whether or not it's so if the enemy is a higher armor type than what you've got, because either you'll have a red hit marker, which I believe means that you're doing maximum damage. You'll have a white hit marker, which means that the armor type is either the same as, I think. And then you've got the final hit marker, which is like a deflection arrow that's coming off to show that the bullets that you're firing aren't doing any damage. So hopefully we have them on the screen. If not, I might be able to show you a bit later. These are glitches. Don't know why it's happening, but yeah. Cool. Worth noting as well, when you jump in the Pelican, it sets a timer of I think about 17-20 seconds, where other Helldivers have to get in straight away. If they don't, they'll be left behind. So always just ask when you're extracting and you're playing with other players, is everyone ready to get in? That allows you to obviously support your team and make sure they don't get left behind, because you get less experience, less renown overall, and yeah, so, and it's just courteous, you know. You also get, so one thing we'll go over a bit later is weapon upgrading, but you also get more weapon experience, so, okay. So you should be getting a bit more used to it. This is the end screen where you're going to see a few stats about how you did on the mission. If you're not playing with anyone, it won't compare to anyone, but if it is, then it will do. So that's cool. Now, the one stratagem I recommend that you get before you start going on bot missions is, so just to explain as well. So obviously over there you've got the Super Destroyer. This is the Super Destroyer. You've got the Galactic Map over there. You've got, I can't even remember what this is called now. Ship terminal? Ship management. And then you've got the armoury over here. So the reason why I'm introducing these now as opposed to the beginning is because by now you should be really into the game, or you're really learning it and you want to learn more about it. So let's introduce these areas now. So this is ship management. So the first one is going to show you all the ship modules, which, let me just see if that is being introduced later. No, I think we can introduce this one now, why not? So we've got the ship name. So I've kept mine the same. I just like the idea of Hammer of Redemption. I like strength, and I also like the idea that you can be redeemed if you make a mistake. So that's why I went with that one. You get which planet you're currently on, not really that essential. Like, the main thing you want to be looking at here is ship progression, showing how many modules you've got. That essentially shows you how many of these you've unlocked in like a sort of holistic view. And then obviously you go into here and you can see the individual ones. Now, what I'll probably do is not go through these now, and I'll just go through some basic stratagems just to not overwhelm you. Essentially, this one, it should be available at level 3, is really good against bots, the expendable anti-tank. This is going to be the foundation of anything you need to take down armor in the game. anything other than this, like the recoilless rifle right below it, that's what my favorite thing to take against the bots. That, in my opinion, is just a better version of the EAT, which is abbreviated to EAT, EAT, is expendable anti-tank. It doesn't require a backpack, which is sort of one over the recoilless rifle, but still, that's the beginning of what you need to take down the bots. In each of these stratagems, you've obviously got the name of it, a little description for it, videos to go alongside it, although not really that accurate because you don't want to be using an EAT on a Scout Strider. That's what that robot there is called. And you don't really want to be using it on Biosphere either. But, you know, that's just something they set up and they went with it. Stats here, so we've got the call-in time, cooldown time, and the uses. So unlimited, that's great to see. What you'll find if you pick this stratagem, every time they're available, throw them down, and then you'll have loads of EATs dotted around the map that you're going to be able to obviously use if you need to fall back from a location, if the bots push you back. Yeah, so it just gives you some traits here. So you've got, it's a support weapon, so obviously something that you carry as your third slot. It comes down in a hellpod, so you're able to destroy things with the hellpod. Anti-tank, which obviously we knew, and it's expendable, which means it's only one use. So we can start a mission there, and I can go through why these are useful. Let's see now. Something else I'll introduce at this point is Warbonds. So if you get bored of the basic Liberator, what we need to do is go into Warbonds. So this is like the Helldivers Mobilize is the one that everybody gets. So what you'll need to, each Warbond has got pages. So this one's got 10, and there's different things you can unlock on every page. Now, the way that you need to sort of progress through these is using medals that you unlock by completing major orders, by finishing missions, and collecting medals on maps as well, and completing your daily objective as well. So what we want to start doing is start buying useful items from these Warbonds. Now the only problem is that you have to invest a certain amount of medals to get to the next page. Now you don't have to buy all of, say, page 3 to unlock page 4. You just need the sum total of investment to equal what it is. So for example, let's say you don't like the look of anything in page 3, for example, and there's things that you prefer to buy in page 1 and 2. You can buy, say, 1 or 2 things from page 3 and then invest the back into there. So that's just a nice way of thinking about it. Some things, I did do a Warbond video, which we should have linked here, going over what's useful. But yeah, oh, so you get the frag in this, so you won't actually start with the frag grenade. But I'll just do a quick run through of some really important stuff. The Redeemer is a really good pistol. I would work your way towards that. This is your first example of so this originally I think started out as light armor, but it's got 70 if you look at the armor rating over on the right. Armor rating is obviously how much damage that you can take, or how much damage a shot fired at you will be diminished by the higher armor rating. Speed is obviously how fast you can run, and stamina regen is how quickly your stamina will regen. But yeah, you've got light, medium, and heavy armor usually, and then there's sometimes mixes between the two. So, for instance, the average light armor has 50 armor rating, and obviously mixed there, and this one's slightly higher. The passives here, so I don't put markers down on the map. Reduced detection, I don't find that useful either, really. Heavy armor, I do like. I did run heavy armor a lot, although it has changed and it just doesn't feel as quick as it used to. So I actually veer away from heavy armor now. But the Redeemer's nice. If you're accurate, a Diligence rifle is really nice. Against bots, their faces have, I think, 110 health, so you can one-shot Devastators to the face. Now, that sentence means nothing to you if you've not played against bots before, but if you're accurate and you play bots a lot, this can be a really nice weapon to have. The Redeemer's nice to have as well. Page 3, Hellpod Space Optimization is one of my favorite boosters. Boosters are like an additional thing you can equip other than stratagems, which I'll go through in the mission selection later, but they will help the entire team. And there's 4 main ones which everyone likes to use. In my opinion, they're the most essential, which is Stamina Enhancement, Hellpod Space Optimization, Vitality Enhancement, and Experimental Infusion. You can swap one of those out for Muscle Enhancement if you're on an ice planet, but yeah, I know that's overwhelming, so we'll ignore that for now. Hellpod space optimization is the earliest one that you have access to. You unlock the other ones through Warbonds. Take this one initially, because that allows your other experienced teammates to take other ones that are potentially like have other uses as well. So yeah, go watch the Warbond video if you want a breakdown of the entire thing. This was just an introduction to it. If you want to unlock other Warbonds, you'll need to use super credits, which again, I know I'm plugging the other video. I have a super cred crime video if you want to try and unlock them as quickly as possible. So yeah, that's Warbonds essentially. This is where you're going to get all of your other stuff. This is the armoury, so where you can select primary, secondary and throwables. Yeah, but your basic liberator will do for now. Again, the peacemaker, if you unlock the redeemer, as I said before, I really like that one. I used that one for a long time before I got the senator in the oh come on, Steeled Veterans. Yeah, that's it, in the Steeled Veterans Warbond. I take that one for bugs all the time, for bots all the time, and I take the Talon, which is from a separate Warbond called Borderline Justice, for against the bugs, and I think for the Illuminate as well, but maybe not. But yeah, essentially, yeah, that's what you need to be looking at here. You're not going to see all of these throwables. You can keep the initial frag for now, and that'll do for now. Obviously, if you get any other armor, here's the place where you'll equip it. It's separated into light, medium, and heavy. If we do, so you need to press C and Z to switch between them. Quick one. But yeah, let's stay with all the basics for now. Let's not get overwhelmed. Cool. So let's start a mission against the bots and let's whack that difficulty up a little bit. You'll see that on the bottom it says primary objectives and enemy patrols. So allied tactical objectives, I don't know what that means. Yeah, so they're going to start getting outposts. So outposts are like bug nests or fabricators if you're on the automaton side, or warp ship places. Let's go to one of my favorites. Let's go to, where is the ice planet? This one. So let's whack it up to 3. So apparently we're going to start getting heavily armored enemies. Other thing to note, if you see this icon, like it looks like 3 lines going up, that's meant to be a city. This will be a city map. I personally don't prefer them, just because a lot of orbitals and eagles won't work correctly in city maps, because they will either hit a building or, you know, nearly hit it, or your super destroyer, which is where all the orbitals come from, will need to navigate around the map in order to do it. They're fun, but they're not really my style. So let's go for a rural one. So we'll do a night mission, why not? I'll show you what they look like. So yeah, you'll have Sabotage Airbase, Launch ICBM. ICBM is going to take a while, so I'm going to do Sabotage Airbase instead, just not to waste your time. So this is where I'm going to go through boosters now. So we go in. So what we can do here is, again, we're starting to see optional objectives cropping up on the map now. So optional objectives are blue. If you complete them, you get more XP, more requisition points, which obviously helps you level up your character, which is really useful. The red parts on the map are enemy presence. So you don't really want to drop in those unless you're dropping on a fortress. Like a lot of people like to hot drop on fortresses. So we're going to drop here. Same as before, so we're going to have the orbital precision strike, we're going to have machine gun, and we've just unlocked the eat, so let's find that and bring that, shall we? And for the last one, we'll pick something random. So boosters now. So I've got every booster in the game, but we talked about hellpod space optimization. If you've got it, that's a really good one. You're going to come out the hellpod fully stocked on ammo, grenades, and stims. Now, that might not sound like it's useful for the entire mission, but it just means that you need to take less resupplies, for example. And if you are recalling one of your friends in after you've died and there's a lot of enemies nearby, they're going to be able to, say, stim themselves 4 times instead of 2, which obviously lets them run away quicker, reduce damage, all these different things. So yeah, really good booster to take. I've gone through a lot of the boosters on other videos. There might even be a video dedicated to it in the future, but I just wanted to go over, obviously, the basics. So, equipment staying the same, and we can drop in. Yeah, like I was saying before about boosters, a really good one for ice planets is muscle enhancement. Because, yeah, you'll see that we're walking a lot slower now. So yeah, very good one. On the map, these red areas are enemy outposts. So there's going to be, for bots, it's going to be fabricators. For bugs, it's going to be bug nests, which you saw in the tutorial. If there's a fabricator here, I'm going to show you 2 ways of destroying them. You've got the way I prefer to do it, which is from ages away with an expendable anti-tank, or with a recoilless, or an anti-tank emplacement if you prefer that as well. Here we go. So here's a fabricator. This is what it looks like. So these fabricators are just going to continually release new enemies until you destroy it. So very similar to how the bug nest works. We're just going to throw a grenade in there, and that's going to destroy it. Done. So that's one way you can do it. This is a devastator right here. You want to shoot the glowing eyes if you can, if you're accurate. If you aren't really confident, what you can do is shoot its torso. Ooh. Which, if we find another devastator, I will show you. But yeah, so let's show you here now. So let's call down the expendable anti-tank. Let's get to work. Because that's one thing to note about bots versus bugs. You want to tend to stay as far away from bots as you can. With bugs, they will get to you close anyway. But yeah, so you don't have to shoot the inside of the vent, but I'll show you here now that it doesn't have to. And that's gone. So you only have one use with the EAT. So every time it's ready, call it down if you need it. And yeah, so here's another devastator. It's got a shield. Shield's impenetrable. I don't really like the fact that it's impenetrable, to be quite honest. You know, toward anything. But yeah. Oh, come on now. There you go. Right, so enemy data processor. So we can also see a fabricator just back there. So let's see if I can take that out from here. All weapons have got bullet, or nearly all weapons have got bullet drop as well, so it's worth just... Look at this guy here. What's he doing? So these bots here are lightly armored, which means we can take them out with light armor weapons. As we start to get the difficulty higher, you're going to start to see enemies that have got a lot higher armor, or weak points that you can take out with light weapons. That's a really key point there. So there we go. So that's gone now as well. Now anti-tank's ready again, so I'm going to keep calling it down, just so I've always got a supply of heavy weapons if I need to destroy them. You'll notice that once you destroy a fabricator on an area, the red goes away. That lets you know whether or not there are enemy fabricators in the area or not. Same for bugs with bug nests as well. So yeah, worth noting there. So this, not that, this is a what's it called now? Sorry, I got distracted there. Bioprocessor. So we can call that on a hell bomb here, just so you get to see these actually. So this is a perfect opportunity. So this is a devastator. You can shoot its face in 2 shots, or let's see how many it takes down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shots to take down a devastator to the chest area. Let's call down a hell bomb. Don't worry if it takes you a while to learn how to quickly call down stratagems. I've got almost 500 hours in the game, or after this video I might even have 500 hours. So yeah. But yeah, what this actually is, if you want more reason to hate the automatons, is chained up humans. So yeah, make sure that you take them down. So, oh, fail straight away. There you go. Cool. So now once you arm a hell bomb, it's got 25-meter radius, and you want to get as far, like, as long as you're 25 meters away, you're fine. You get, I think it's around 10 seconds to run away, and then just watch the fireworks. There we go. Boom. Hell bombs are one of the most fun things in the game. So every time you get an option to call them down, it's always very fun. Let's head over to the next encampment. Right, so EAT can actually take down dropships, but I'm not going to waste it on it. I don't find dropships actually, like, usually you think, oh, I'll shoot it down, I might be able to kill them all. Oh god, these are very powerful. Right, okay. So we've got a scout strider coming over to us, which is medium armor pen on the legs and on the head. So I need to show you how to take these down now. So for non-reinforced scout striders, they're vulnerable from the back. They can turn quite quickly, as you can see, which is annoying. Let's try and... Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can shoot the back of them and they'll die quite easily. Let's go with this one. 5 shots to the chest again. Whoa. Right, now you'll learn. Now you're gonna see why bots are so annoying. These cannon turrets are really accurate, and they can kill you with like 1 shot. So we need to try and. Right, okay. So that's another thing that I prefer to eat over as opposed to the recoil. Sorry, I prefer the recoilless over the eat. Recoilless rifle can take those down in 1 shot, whereas it appears the eat takes 2. There you go. That's gone. That's why you want to keep your distance. And there was a meme that I thought of before, and that's with the eat. There should be like a I mean, obviously not, because it wouldn't be realistic, but there should be a Twix sponsorship for eat. So that if you might not be familiar with what Twix is, it's a chocolate bar in the UK and probably all over the world where you get 2 what look like eats in it. Yeah, and it's like their tagline is 1 for now, 1 for later, and we literally just used 2 then, and I've got the 3rd one on my back. I've been thinking about it for ages, but I've not made a meme about it. But yeah, I would love that to become a meme. That would be hilarious. But yeah, or like it redesigns the eats to be yellow and red. I just think that would be hilarious. Come on now. Oh. Remember, switching to your secondary is faster than reloading. Captain Price told us that, I believe. Right, so let's save the eat for something else, and let's get these with... That's one thing as well you'll find that... So, destroying fabricators by other means, other than the recoilless, if you're taking that, is really important, because things like the Eagle Strafing run later, you know, can destroy them. So it's better off using those, in my opinion. So let's keep going now. Okay, so after this mission, we're going to introduce weapon customization. So I'm going to show you how I got my Liberator to be like yellow and black, and I've got a drum magazine and a bigger scope on it. Won't take you through all the weapons. I think it's good to find out some things yourself, but I'll just basically take you through the basics of that. Then I'll talk to you about samples, what they look like, what difficulties they spawn on, best way to grind them. So a lot of people will grind samples, but I found that honestly playing on the highest level and fully completing the mission is the best way to do it. So yeah, that's, I suppose, spoiler alert. Again, POIs I'll go over when I talk about samples, but yeah, so this is a crate, so this is a POI. You'll see on the map you've got like a diamond looking shape here, a white diamond, it's worth noting as well. When you've collected everything of value there, so samples, requisition points, medals, super credits, it will go to a different color, so like this gray here. So we need explosives to open these containers. So let's see what we get. Medal, which will be useful, and super credits, which is useful for me still, which is nice. Sometimes you can find 100 as well. I think it's like a 1 in 100 chance. I've found it like 7 or 8 times in the cred grinding days. But yeah, definitely always look at your POIs if you get a chance. Other POIs, like we were talking about before, like I showed you before, are these things with beacons. They're really easy to see. So let's go and open that. Oh. You can also see some, if you roam about on the map, you should be able to see some POIs show up on the map. Although it doesn't, unless it's been patched out. It may have been patched out, because I can't see any here. But we know there's one here. Ah, no, it hasn't been patched out. There you go, yeah. You can see minor place of interest. So, yeah, that's a cool thing. So, let's get rid of these fences, just so we can get to equipment. There you go. SEAF artillery. I can go through that now with you as well. So, you use E to interact, and there's more super credits. Very nice. That goes a long way toward the superstore or the Warbonds. Here's another area here. So, because we're a distance away, we wouldn't get an angle on the vent. We can just destroy it like that. Again, remember in our recoil control, we can lie down, take them out from here. Always go for weak points if you can. Save ammo. Save super rare some money. Oh, expendable that. So yeah. Oh, there's a berserker coming at us. So he's basically a melee variant of the Devastator. Dangerous up close, but oh, didn't mean that. But yeah, not really a problem usually. These ones you won't be able to shoot the chest, but you'll be able to shoot the backpack or the face. Both of those work. So right, let's use one of these. So this, it's a bit hard to see to be honest, but this is a drop pod. So it's the same things that drop off the bots before, but you can take that out with the eats or recoilless by shooting the engines. There you go, easy. Here's another thing, so we take that up from a distance, and that's how quickly. So on missions called blitzers, where you need to destroy fabricators very quickly, a recoilless or eats is very useful to getting the mission done quickly. So yeah, right, we're running low on ammo now, so I'm going to call in a resupply. It's also good to call resupplies in when you very first start the mission, because it means you have a place to fall back to, and it gives you the maximum amount of resupplies per mission. So if you think the longer a stratagem remains being able to use but not used, means that there's a countdown, it could be done to calling it in again. So if you want maximum uses of your stratagems, calling them in as soon as they're ready will give you that. Probably just some more fabricators, and then I'll take you through the... There we go. So, in fact, I'll show you this one being destroyed by the auto precision strike. If it's precise, which is quite ironic considering its name, which it wasn't before. Hopefully you'll get to see it. Oh, a bit of ambience there with the blue flowers on these planets. Right, come on now. Let's hope this hits. Right, that should kill it. There we go. So, different explosives have different, like, I don't know what to say, destructive power or piercing power, which is important. Oh, that's a big group of enemies. Get some explosives on there. There we go. So, that's what we call a patrol. So it's multiple bots moving together. Oh, and apparently there's a big one behind us. It's ironic, it said heavily armored enemy. Oh my god. This is what I mean about the cannon turrets. They're so overpowered. Alright, let's try and land on it. Nah, not able to. But yeah, so overpowered, man. It's crazy. Right, let's teach him a lesson right here. Yeah, you don't hear them, and the next minute you're dead. So these also have a weak point. I'll show you that now. It's at the very back. So let's see if we can get a good angle on it. Yeah, it glows. So that isn't armored, I believe. So I would be able to destroy that with the Liberator. I'll show you that. But as soon as it gets hit, it's going to start looking at us. So let's see if I can get it here. All right. This is perfect place to do it, right? Okay. Never mind. Okay, it's got medium. I've got the machine gun. That's not going to work. Let's see if we can climb on. No, we won't be able to. In fact, no, maybe. Oh no, just on top, not over. And I'm stuck now. There we go. No! Right, this is very risky here right now. There we go. So yeah, the machine gun would be able to take this out. There's a scout strider coming in. Oh, I killed him. Two berserkers, lightly armored, not a problem to deal with. But yeah, it said heavily armored enemies on difficulty 3. I was surprised. I was looking for a Hulk, really. Hulks are like if you've played... look at this thing, has no idea what to do. Hulks are like if you've played Warhammer, it's like dreadnoughts. 40k that is, anyway. Anyway, so let's put this guy out of his misery, shall we? So yeah, that's it. Will be medium. Where did it even land? Oh, if you press tab and go to your map, you'll be able to see where different weapons are. So let's head down. Just because I do want to show you that different weapons take out different things. I could just destroy it with the E again, but, you know, it's one of those. We're here to learn, aren't we? We're not here to not here to just see the easy route. If you wanted to see just real normal gameplay, that would be a good time to check out my Twitch. Shameless plug for that. There we go, yeah. So we're getting a white hit marker. Oh, I can explain the hit markers. So anywhere other than this, you're going to get this glancing. Not glancing. Glancing is a separate thing. Glancing is when you don't hit something dead on, so the bullet ricochets off instead of hits it. So I probably won't get an example of that, but here. The white hit marker means that it's working, and there we go. Also a good time to explain that you can't carry more than one support weapon at a time. So as you can see, I have to drop the eat in order to use this, which is fine. Because again, it's about a weapon for a situation. It's not about one size doesn't usually fit all, unless you're talking about the Kazar cannon. You know, in terms of maneuverability as well. But yeah, that's a good example of that there. Alright, where's samples? So, yeah, so I'll explain samples. So common samples look different for every different sort of faction. It can look like this little, I don't even know what you'd call that thing. For bots, they make noise, which is good. Bots on bug missions don't, which is frustrating, and I needed a lot of common samples when I was playing initially. So yeah, we'll try and keep them up on screen. You need those to get ship upgrades, which I'm going to go through after this. The different samples will spawn on different difficulties, which is important to note as well. But yeah, let's say best way to grind them is to go on the highest difficulty where all spawn in very high quantities and just collect them as you go. You'll be extracting with like 20 common samples, 20 rare, and up to 7 super ones. So yeah, it's just one of those. Supers can only spawn around rocks, super rocks, or whatever you want to call them. There is another name for them, but I'm keeping the thing PG. Anyway, so what I'll do with this SEAF artillery here, this is a side objective. This gives you another stratagem in the mission, which is launching these. You need to carry shells of different varieties up here, and you can fill 5 of them. What you'll normally do is not activate the terminal until you've collected all of the shells over there. Reason why is because this noise will attract enemies. I just did it there just to show you how. Go and have a look around. The fun ones are high yield, explosive, and mini nuke. Although explosive and napalm are second best, and then you've got like smoke and electric field, which are like meh, to be honest. Like, we don't really want to use those. You can climb up boxes if you want to. Maybe this one, but probably not. Yeah, to get out of that little area here, we're going to drop them together and see which other ones we've got. So this one is an explosive again, and this is from the explosive, it looks like. You can tell what they are from the color of the tip of them. So this is like a dark green. Black is mini nuke. Orangey yellow is high yield explosion. Red is napalm. Blue is electric field, and grey is smoke. Sometimes black, grey and... oh, there we go. Is that a mini nuke? There we go, mini nuke. So that is like a hell bomb. It's like a mini hell bomb. So I'll show you that one getting called in while we're waiting for extraction. And this should be our 5th right here. So 4 explosives, 1 mini nuke, which isn't a bad yield, to be fair. This one goes in first. The first one you load is the first one that's fired. So load in the order that you want to fire. Usually the most important ones first. We're gonna load them, and away we go. So then the last step to this is just oh, patrol coming over there. Let's get this done. Like we were doing with the terminal broadcast, you've got up and down, so you need to get up to the highest and then right to the highest. So we're at the highest for one of them, so we need to figure out which one that is. There you go. Exactly. And then it's done. And I'll tell you what we can do if we get the chance. Let's use the mini nuke on this patrol. So as you see on the top left, we get SEAF artillery. It takes a while to call in, so just be aware of that. But yeah, here we go. So that's going to fire now. 6 seconds. Bye-bye. There we go. So I was expecting to get a kill counter for that. I thought there was more than 3 there. Kill counters start at 3, so if you don't get more than 3 kills, you don't get to use it. Or you don't get to see it, sorry. But yeah, so let's mark extraction and be on our way. You can look at the whole map. If you see on the top right, actually, you see the way there's like a green marker, 3 out of 22. That means there's a possible 22 common samples. That's the logo for common samples, that little green area. There's a possible 22 that you can get per mission. Now, obviously, the higher difficulty you play, the more there are available. Samples are usually gathered around points of interest or, which obviously is these little diamonds that we've talked about. Or, not nests, what did they call them before? Outposts. So anywhere that's got those. Mission objectives have got them as well. Extract's got a few. This might be a bunker right here. And I'll show you something cool if it is. Although, no, probably not. It's a little thing. We'll get this one anyway before we're here. Ah, but I can show you this. So this is what a stim pack looks like. You get 4 of those. So if we use them all now. So you get to see it. Whereas you don't always get a full complete magazine from an ammo box. And I don't think the grenades is full either. So you'll see POIs have got a lot of useful stuff in other than just like medals. There we go. Hopefully there was a grenade one, but I don't think there is. So yeah, just to prove it, I'll use these. There we go, so very wasteful for super rare, but I need to prove a point. There we go, so yeah, we get 4 back. So you can, the other good thing is as well, if you know you're about to pick up a resupply or a box like this, if you know you're going to get more back than you use another stim just to benefit, you know, with a few seconds of more running speed or damage resistance if you've got the right booster. Yeah, so I would do that, and then that way you're not just losing one that you would have had before. Yeah, so let's call this in. There we go. Okay, the patrols make noise and look like that. Oh, and there's a missile on there, so he's going to fire a load of rockets at us, which is really frustrating. Like, the RNG is that at least one of them will usually hit. But yeah, quite frustrating. If you get really unlucky with the RNG with like a Scout Strider, it can just hit you with its lasers, or one of the guys with the miniguns. Very annoying. Another one coming in as well. So let's see what the explosive looks like. It seems bugged or something, because it says it takes 6 seconds, but then it's going to take more than 6 seconds. It's very odd. There we go. There we go. Holy shit. Okay. So what you just saw then is calling in a bot drop. So it's almost a death sentence on higher difficulties, but on this one it's not going to be too bad. What I'll normally do when a bot is loads of these will start to come down. But yeah, as I say, it's more so on higher difficulty. Oh shit. See? RNG there. RNG effect. On higher difficulties, because more than one of those things come, I'll call down an orbital napalm barrage, which we have because of the major order, on the location, and that will just cover a wide area with fire to try and destroy these robots. The reason why I like, say, that over, say, like the 120, which is just a barrage of rockets, is because if the rocket doesn't hit them, it's not going to do any damage. But if... Holy, that is a lot of enemies. The problem with the benefit with the napalm, let's see how many kills we get with this. 12, not bad. In fact, let's use the orbital napalm now. So I'll wait a little bit just so you get to see it. So yeah, this is going to cover the area in fire, so even if the missile itself doesn't directly hit it, the fire around it is going to be able to deal damage. So, and you get a lot more missiles as well, I think. So yeah, as long as you have 50-meter radius back, you're fine. But yeah, and it lasts for a long time, so very good for controlling bug breaches and also bot drops. What is this pelican doing? Yeah, cool. let's get out of here. So we've covered a lot. What else do we need to cover now? I'll cover weapon customization. Samples, I'll just go over that at the main area. Best way to grind, and we've always gone over. Overview of ship upgrades as well. Co-op play, very important. It's nice to play with other people. I'd encourage you to use your mic as well. Because I've met some great friends on here, and it's always nicer to jump into a game. You get 5 more reinforcements for every player that you play with, so whereas you only get 5 for 1, you get 20 for 4. So yeah, so you just get, it's just an overall. Obviously you get people that, you know, will jump in, will not listen to you, will jump in the pelican, you know, before you, when you're not ready in these things, but that's just part and parcel of online play. But the majority of people are lovely, and Helldivers has got a great community. So definitely worth doing that. Yeah, but we've not got much left to cover now. So yeah, I'll be on the ship for the rest of the mission too. So all good there. Cool. Oh, I should go over the major order as well. So I'll go over the major order, then what's left in my list, just to make sure I cover everything. Okay, so now that you've got used to doing individual missions, you need to see how that sort of adds to the whole in the game, because obviously you've got the gameplay loop, which is the missions, but then the other side of the game is the major order. So obviously we said on the right, so Arrowhead has got a story in mind, and they will write it and say, this is something we want every Helldiver playing the game to do. So at the moment it's like kill a certain number of specific enemies, extract with common samples, and these types of things there. When the whole community achieves it, you get a reward there. You'll see 50 medals, which is really helpful towards unlocking new Warbonds and things. And it's nice to just play, you know, as part of a community rather than just, you know, a lot of people playing their own. So liberate Boar Rock. So Boar Rock, let's see if we can find that planet. We probably can't, to be honest. I don't know where the regular, oh there we go, there's Boar Rock. So then when we had to liberate that, everyone, like, do you know the number of Helldivers, it tells you the number of Helldivers that are active on a planet on the top right of that box that you can see. That would have had everyone on there. And now there's no other planet, is there? But you see this thing on the top left of this, or top right of this box, is the DSS, which is called the Democracy Space Station. So if you push, the game doesn't really show you this, but if you push B on the Galactic Map, here's what it is. It tells you where it's currently located and the actions that you can take. So if the DSS is set in a location, you'll get like periodic Eagle airstrikes, which is the Eagle strafing run. You normally get hellpod space optimization, which is the booster we talked about, the earliest one, as a oh no, that's this one, as a sort of, you get it anyway, so you get to pick another one, so that's really useful. And the way that you get these is by contributing either rare samples. This is the token for rare samples, and if you look at the top right of the screen, this is the token for super samples. So you either get you can contribute these, and then when the whole community completes that objective, you get the ability wherever that is. Like you get a free stratagem that you would have had to bring along in place of another one, like this orbital barrage. And the way that it locates is you come to this location and then it shows you where you want to call it to. I normally just go wherever the most people are going, because they'll usually have a reason for it. I don't know really why we're at there, probably because actually so what it might have been is this had Predator Strain. Actually this one has Predator Strain. Predator Strain are like a sub-faction of Terminators that are harder. That might have been the case. But anyway, that's the Democracy Space Station. Yeah, just a quick overview of that. Major order. So major order will tell you where to go. So obviously for this one it was Boar Rock. Your personal order, very easy to complete, and will give you an extra 15 medals towards your Warbonds, which is good. So yeah, I think that's a whistle-stop tour of the DSS of the Galactic Map there. Oh, I'll go through co-op as well. So let's say you don't want to play alone, which is great to hear. What you can do is go here, not here, here. You see the tab button, so that will scan for anyone playing the map. So you've got one person here, level 18. Again, perfect opportunity to join that person and help out. So you can try and make more friends, and it can be a better experience. Some support weapons will need multiple people to reload them, or to faster, so it can be useful to have some, you know, benefits that way. So that's co-op play, a lot better in my opinion. Let's see our samples. So if we go over to the Galactic Map again, so you'll see that the difficulty is at the very bottom. So as we start to go up, you see the way that you see the common sample icon. If we get to challenging, you get the orange, which is the rare sample. So rare samples are going to spawn on this one, and then anything from extreme and above, super samples are going to spawn on. And obviously the higher it is, the more samples spawn, unless it's super, which is a maximum of 7. I think it's around 4 if you're only on the regular one. So again, what you can do with them, so you can either put them in the DSS when you're complete with your ship. I'll go over here. These are the upgrades. So I've made a list of the most important upgrades straight away. Go through them all and see how you find it affects the game yourself. But the most important ones, in my opinion, are superior packing methodology in the patriotic administration. You need to get the one above in order to unlock the one below, and that's specific to each different section. So it doesn't count for cannons versus the administration center, but you'd need to get donation, streamline, hand carts in order to get this. What this does is means that resupply stratagem boxes refill support weapons with the maximum number of magazines. That just means that instead of needing to take, say you've got the recoilless, one box will only refill half of it, but obviously that box is still going to give you two more stims and a lot of magazines for your main weapon throwables. So if you have to take 2 in order to refill your support weapon fully, it just means another person can't use it, or you're not going to get as much out of your resupplies as you could. So that's a really useful one. Second one is the expanded weapons bay. So what that means is things like the Eagle 500 kilogram bomb, you only get one of those as standard. If you get this one, you get 2 uses of it before it needs to go and rearm, because that's the thing with the Eagle strikes. When you've used their amounts, they need to go away for say 4 minutes or whatever to come back rearmed. So that's a really useful one to have in my opinion. And then everything in the bridge is really useful. So not game changing, but just useful. So 1 second reduction, fine. Nuclear radar, fine. Power steering is really important, because you'll notice that when you get reinforced or when you drop initially, you can land on things to do damage to it. So you can destroy bug holes, fabricators, larger enemies like Hulks in one hit. If you've got power steering, it's a lot easier to hit them. So definitely a good one. A few nice ones there, like reducing the cooldown of all stratagems by 5%. That's nice as well. These can be bought with samples, and it requires a lot of samples in order to get them. You can have a maximum of 500 common samples, maximum of 250 rare, and a maximum of 100 in your ship at any one time. So that's what you need to know there. So samples we've done, points of interest we've covered as well, Galactic Map, DSS and how to vote. So yeah, I think we're basically done. But yeah, I would just say if you're new to Helldivers, or if you're not and just wanted to see if there's anything you didn't know, I'd really appreciate a sub if you don't mind. A like, comment, all goes a long way to helping the algorithm. Interact with the shorts and stuff, that'd be really awesome. But yeah, I don't want to keep you for any longer, so yeah, I'll just say thank you for watching.